I don't know if you have any of those experiences when you're a kid, you were younger. Maybe you look back and you go, man, I shouldn't be alive today. That literally should have killed me. I have probably too many, but one that sticks out. We used to go to my uncle's cabin in the summer. He lived right on the Northern California coast of the Pacific Ocean. And we would swim, we would go to the creek, we would hang out. It was a great time. One day in particular, though, we're at the beach and there's an outcropping of rocks. And I thought I could swim out to those rocks. I start swimming, and sooner or later, not only did I make it to the rocks, I was about 200 yards beyond the rocks and half a mile down the beach. Both of my parents had to jump in and come grab me and pull me back to shore, because what I didn't understand is in the ocean, these things called riptides, they actually pull you farther out to sea. And so while I thought I was making progress, I was focused on where I was going, what actually ended up happening is I went way farther than I meant to, and I went way off course. I look back at that day and think, man, I literally could have and probably should have died. And a lot of times we look back, we're like, man, I'm so much smarter now. But the truth is that sin, like anything, is much like the ocean. It ends up pulling us farther out than we meant to go and getting us completely off course. Proverbs 7, Solomon lays out a very serious sin, a very serious and destructive. It's a cautionary tale of a young man who falls into sexual sin with a married woman. You see, Proverbs 7 is all about lust and adultery, two buzzwords in the Christian church. And he tells this story of this young man, and then it crescendos in this. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 21, it says, "All at once he followed her like an ox going to the slaughter, like a deer stepping into a noose till an arrow pierces his liver, like a bird darting into a snare, little knowing it will cost him his life." Strong language, but Solomon makes it clear that sexual sin can literally destroy your life. And it's funny, you look back at those moments when you were young and the dumb things that you did that literally could have killed you and think, man, I'm so much smarter now. Never connecting the dots that the things that we do now as adults without wisdom can have just as fatal consequences. The things that we choose to do when we choose to walk outside of wisdom, they may not physically kill you, like this sexual sin that we see in Proverbs chapter 7. It may not physically kill you, but it can relationally kill you. It can spiritually kill you. It can emotionally kill you. And Proverbs chapter 7, more than anything, is just a cautionary tale to stay close to wisdom, because sexual sin can be so destructive in so many ways. And it's worth pointing out that God did not put sex behind the paywall of marriage to rob sex of anything. God designed sex for marriage so that you could experience in the fullness of what it is. And it's something that God said, this is good. And I just want to say that if sexual sin, sexual brokenness is a part of your story, it's not the end of your story. God is not done with you. This does not end in judgment and condemnation. God's not done with your story. There is more in store for you. But for all of us, what is Proverbs chapter 7? It's a reminder that we have to stay close to God and stay close to wisdom.